everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tia and this is going to be my May wrap-up. Feels so weird to film because I literally took like a month and a half or something off of filming because I just wasn't like feeling it, and I also didn't read that much, so I think that's like a big reason why as well. I just kind of got into like a huge reading slump, but I am back. I'm very excited to be making content again. But I am a little bit behind, so let's just get into what I read in May. I read 5 things in May, not a lot, but like fine with me. So the first thing that I read was The Guest List by Lucy Foley, which I gave 3 stars. I thought that this was decent. It definitely caught my attention. I wanted to know what was going to happen. It wasn't predictable at all because it was actually very out there. The ending, the twist, was very like convoluted and really just like you really had to like stretch these dots to connect them, but it did capture my attention. I was like interested to find out what happened just because I couldn't really figure it out, and so it definitely kept my attention in that way. But the writing style was just boring. Page by page wise, I wasn't super interested in what was going on, and I don't know, it felt a little bland. It felt a little flavorless to me. So this one wasn't my favorite, but just like a basic, just 3-star. I thought that it was just really average. Then I read My Name is Saajin, Singh. If you don't know, I pick up pretty much any book that has Punjabi main characters. My fiance is Punjabi, and so I like to read books that are written by Punjabi authors who have Punjabi main characters, especially kids books, just so I can start like collecting so that my kids will one day see themselves in the literature that we have in our home. So it's just really important to me, and it's so limited. There are barely any out there, adult, middle grade, YA, children's, like anything. There's almost none. So it's really important to me. It's something that I definitely seek out. So I saw this one. It's a new release. I actually don't know when I don't know if it's even officially out yet. August 16th, 2022, so it's not even out yet. I got it off NetGalley because I saw it and I was like, oh, I have to, pick that up, see what that's about. And I give this 4 stars. I thought it was great. It's all about this boy, Saajin, who goes to school and everyone mispronounces his name and he gets nervous and doesn't want to correct them. But then he learns the importance of correcting people and why it's important to make sure people are saying your name correctly, and that way that it like holds its meaning throughout time and you're being respected. So it's all about kind of standing up to that and owning who you are, and making sure you kind of put your foot down when people disrespect you and your culture. So I thought that it was beautiful in that regard. The only reason I'm giving it 4 stars is that the writing, there was a couple parts that were just really strange to me and didn't really go with the story. There were parts where he would be like, oh, I'm wearing my favorite food, or I'm like wearing my favorite drink. Like it's just these things that kind of didn't really flow with the story. I think they were meant to be kind of like cute and quirky, but I just didn't really get it. I don't think that it flowed very well, so it did kind of like pull me out of the story. Very informative, very interesting. I think that a lot of kids would really like this and benefit from it as well if that's something that they struggle with. So this was a good one. Then I read The Tiger Came to the Mountains by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. This one I picked up real randomly because I am trying to do like the Pop Sugar Challenge this year, and one of them is like read a book with tiger in it. Pretty limited selections. And I wasn't actively trying to complete that challenge in May, but I saw on Audible, or no, it's not even Audible, it's like Prime Reading. So just if you have Prime, there's tons of free books on Amazon, which I just found out last month. It's called Prime Reading, and some of those are audiobooks. And so a lot of authors came together. I'm trying to think of like what even the name was of this collection. Trespass Collection. A lot of really big authors came together on Amazon and did this Trespass collection, and it was all free, ebook and audiobook if you are a Prime member. And it's a ton of short stories talking about, I believe, animals having to do with humans and society and like the relationship between between like habitat and life and stuff like that. So when I saw it and I was like, oh, it has tiger in it too, so I might as well just like check that off. So I did decide to pick it up. It's super, super short. This one was really confusing to me, to be honest, and I actually listened to it twice just to make sure I was like wrapping my head around it and giving it like a really fair shot, because I felt like I was missing something from it. But this one is set in 1917 in Mexico during the Revolution, and it's about this girl, and there's this, I believe there's this folklore or something about this tiger that comes to town, and then one day this tiger escapes wherever the tiger was. I'm not quite sure. I don't think it was a zoo, but maybe something like that. It escapes, and this girl and her brother get trapped in like this cave, I'm pretty sure, and it kind of goes from there. But for me, it was just missing really any sort of meaning, and maybe I was just missing that, but like I said, I listened to it twice, so maybe it just wasn't for me. I don't know, I guess I didn't really get it. I didn't connect with it. I didn't understand it. I don't get what it was really even trying to say. So it was just kind of confusing for me. So I'm glad that I picked it up and gave it a shot. And I read One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle. This one I gave, what did I end up giving this one actually? I didn't even rate it. I think I would give it probably 3 stars. This one is about this woman whose mom passes away, and they had this trip planned to the Amalfi Coast, where her mom went on vacation like 30 years ago. And so before her mom died, they wanted to go back there, but then her mom sadly passed away before they were able to go on the trip. So the daughter just ends up going alone, and when she's there, she ends up running into her mom from 30 years ago. So really heartbreaking, really touching, but the hardest thing for me is that I thought the character was super, super selfish and very conceited, and I couldn't feel the type of sympathy and empathy that I felt like I was supposed to feel for her, because I felt like a lot of her actions were really, really selfish, and I couldn't really get behind them because they aren't things that I would support necessarily. I think done in different ways they would be understandable, but the way that some of these actions were written made them really unjustified. Like when her mom dies, she goes to Italy and she straight up just like tells her husband like, okay, I'm going to Italy, like I don't want to be with you anymore, dips, and like instantly just like gets with this other guy pretty much. Like it's just, when her husband was there for her all throughout when her mom was sick and stuff, like it's just so weird to me. And I get that like you do really shitty things when you're grieving, but there's almost no like, there's no like, I don't know how to word it. She takes no responsibility. There's no point where she's like, wow, I really shouldn't have done that. It's just like, she just continues to do things that I feel like are really selfish. And then it just kind of like wraps up at the end really quickly in like a perfect nice little bow, and you're just supposed to feel like happy for her, but like to be honest, I didn't. So it's, I don't know, it's just really, I don't know. I just wasn't like the biggest fan of it. Me and Rebecca Searle have a weird relationship. The dinner party, the dinner list, I gave like 1 star. I absolutely hated it. And then in 5 years, I think I gave 4 or 5 stars, 4.5 stars maybe. And I really, really enjoyed that one actually. So I thought that I would really like this. I thought I would really connect with it. And there were things I liked about it, which is why it's a 3 star. Like it definitely, the descriptions of Italy and just the lifestyle there and the way it is and the whole concept, I really enjoyed. But it's really the main character. It's hard to root for her 100%. So that made it really hard when the whole story is pretty much about that. So I don't know. I feel like about it. Then the last thing I read was the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, which I gave 4.5, 5 stars. Haven't decided. I'm so behind on ratings. Like this is the first time I'm even talking about these books. Like even on like Goodreads, I'm so behind. But this was so fun. I feel like you get really good, like it's such a satisfying ending. It's such a satisfying story. It made me so angry and so like, I hate men. And like it made me literally like my blood boil at one point. And that's good writing. Like that is good like characterization and plot and like building, and like it was so well done. I read Horror Store by Grady Hendrix, and I actually wasn't the biggest fan, even though it seems like a lot of people really like that story. I wasn't personally the biggest fan of that, so I was a little nervous going into this one since everyone seems to really enjoy this one. I was like, oh, maybe I just don't like Grady Hendrix, but I loved this. This was so good. It was so fun. It was so action-packed. There was seriously nothing I didn't like about it. There was never a point where I wasn't like on the edge of my seat dying to like know what's about to happen. And it's a very satisfying ending. It's very, all the feelings that you feel throughout the book, all the anger that builds up in you as a reader, you get like full satisfaction at the end. Like all your feelings get justified and everything just like turns out exactly the way you want it, but not in a way where it's like, oh, it wrapped up like too nicely in this nice little, you know, nice little bow and it just worked out a little too conveniently. It's like, it was hard action, okay? It took effort. It was like very, very satisfying, but this was great. I definitely want to reread it at some point already, honestly, physically, because I did listen to this on audio, but I can't believe it's taken me this long to read this. It's been out for a while. What was it? 2020. It's been out for a while. So, yeah, this definitely made me excited for Grady Hendrix's next book, which I think is How to Sell a Haunted House or something along those lines. Made me really excited for that, because I just think that like the way that he sets up the vibes are immaculate. So very excited for that. But that's everything that I read in May. Like I said, like kind of real like hit and miss. Well, I guess I only really had like one hit, but real random month. I did hit all of my goals as far as my like reading challenges that I'm doing. Those all hit them magically, which I wasn't even actually intentionally doing. So that worked out really well in my favor. But yeah, just a real random reading month. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and let me know your favorite thing that you read in May, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!